But anyhow, if you but if you're aware of you know but I tell a joke. I tell a communist joke. Communist joke. You have to you kind of have to be. You don't have to be a communist, but during the communist times, you used to go to like. When you go to the shop, you know, it's a communist country. Because I lived in Yugoslavia, I mentioned this in Cosmic the Commie, but during the communist times, you go to the shop and like, you know, supermarket, big massive supermarket, and it's beautiful, pristine, you know, glass windows, or blah blah blah, beautiful shelves, tills, etc etc. And you know, I've just kind of giving you the background, a bit of background, so you understand the joke. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. You'll understand. But I'll shut up. So you go to these shops, the beautiful, big, beautiful shops, brand new, modern shops, and there's nothing there. You know, there's fuck all there. There's like a couple of loaves of bread, a few bags of sugar. You know, maybe some makeup, and you know, it's completely empty, bare. And this is like really typical. When I was in Yugoslavia. Now it's, of course, it's different. It's Croatia, it's different. But anyhow, so that's kind of like the background for the joke. So anyway, here goes the joke. Here goes the joke, and here goes the. But in the 80s, I think it was in the 80s, McDonald's opened up, and I think it was McDonald's. I'm shit at telling jokes. McDonald's opened up a restaurant in Moscow. I think it was the 80s or the 90s, and you know, they just allowed them because they were like, I guess, let's just try this shit out and whatever, what have you, you know. But anyhow, I'm really shit at telling jokes, and so anyway, so this is the joke. So McDonald's in the 80s, they opened up the very first McDonald's restaurant on the other side of the Iron Curtain in Moscow. You know, communist. This is communist Soviet Russia. You know, this is Soviet Russia, yeah, and etc. etc. It's not what it is today. Yeah, it's communist, strong, communist country. You know, the strongest. It's communist Russia, for fuck's sake. And so they open up their very first McDonald's. And you know, on the very first day they open their doors, and there's like 200-300 people lined up waiting to eat at this McDonald's. So they open up the doors, and you know, the first person comes up to the counter, and the guy behind the counter says, "Yes, comrade, what would you like?" And the guy, the first customer, comrade, the first customer says, "I would like one cheeseburger." I would like one cheeseburger. And the guy says, "Here you are, comrade. Cheeseburger, American, cheeseburger just for you." And the customer says, "Thank you, comrade. Thank you, comrade. Have a good day. God be with you." You know. And so up rolls up the second, the second customer, and the guy behind the counter says, "What would you like, comrade?" He says, "Cheeseburger. I would like cheeseburger." And the guy behind the counter says, we've run out of cheeseburger." This is, comrade, we've run out of cheeseburger. We don't have any cheeseburger. We've run out of cheeseburger. You don't have any. Oh, this is a shit joke. Is it a shit joke? I don't know.